just when you thought it was safe to get back in the water, whatever water you want to get into. Hopefully it has some Oban in it from the show yesterday. But we are back. Steve Elkington, Frank Bassett. We're here to fill you in on a few more things, few nuggets that I think Steve did some research on. And, well, let's just let him talk about it. Steve Elkington, welcome in. What you got for us?
Thank you, Frank. Of course, we're here today to talk everything about Royal Troon this week, or as they say it over there, it's called Troon. Can you say that, Frank? Troon.
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 Let's see.
It's from the town of Troon. Troon. Troon.
Troon. I can't do that.
Yeah, I know.
I lose my upper plate.
Anyway, yesterday we had a show, Frank, and we talked about, what it's going to take to play well on this course. And I have listened to all the experts and done some research and actually talked to a couple of my friends that are over there. And it is indeed, I listened to Rory McIlroy's press conference this morning, and Rory, for the first time ever, actually agreed with me on something. But he said it's going to be a tale of two nines. He said the front nine is going to be easy because we talked on this very show yesterday about the wind is going to be out of the southwest. So it's going to be right to left and a little bit down or in or slightly right to left for the right-handed players on the way out. And on the way back, it's going to be into the wind and left to right, which is very awkward, as you know, for a right-handed golfer. All the difficult holes at Troon, except number 12, which is goes back in the opposite direction, are all coming back into the wind, Frank. And with a fade shot, a lot of these guys play the power fade with this low-spinning driver. All the trouble is on the right. All the out of bounds is on the right. And the wind is going to be off the left. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, it's going to be tough for left-handed players going out right out of the gate. Mickelson, Akshay Bhatia, Brian Harman. It'll be tricky for the left-handers. They'll have the advantage coming in. But, Frank, I hate to say this, or maybe I don't hate to say this. This is Rory McIlroy's Open to lose.
Okay, so I know you ran the numbers, and that's where you're coming up with this. I also looked at some numbers, and if we had a little more G2 on Scotty Scheffler, if he had played more since the Travelers, I'd feel really good about going with Scotty Scheffler. But McIlroy, Scheffler, Schauffele, and Morikawa are all four right up there at the top, including Ludwig is coming in the next place there. I don't know who to try to grab. I can't disagree with you on Rory McIlroy. He if he clears his head, if he gets the cobwebs out.
Well, it's his to lose. He's not my pick, though. I'm going to give you my pick in a minute. I've got a bit of a dark horse winner picker here. But here's what's going to be required to win this tournament. Yes, we've already talked about how the front nine is going to be played quite easy. In Rory McIlroy's words, and the back nine, you're going to have to hang on.
Right.
Rory McIlroy is not going to make a lot of mistakes around this course. He grew up on links golf. He knows how to play links turf. He's in good form. He just almost won the U.S. Open. Of course, we haven't even mentioned Bryson yet. He has a natural draw bias to his swing, Frank. He naturally draws the ball right to left. That is going to be super favorable for him coming back into the wind on this second nine. Rory McIlroy can stand almost blindfolded and knock a 3-iron down in between these bunkers. He is going to be in this tournament all week. There's no doubt about it. These are the second, or I think my producer told me that the four smallest set of greens that they will play. Pebble Beach is the smallest, 3,500 square feet average is the green size, which is, Frank, that's not even a very big house, mate, 3,500. But at Royal Troon, they're 4,300 square feet is the size of the average green. So what's that tell me? It tells me that the superior iron players, you already mentioned a couple of them, Scheffler, Morikawa, Bryson DeChambeau, Aberg, Scotty Scheffler, of course, is going to be hard to beat. But the guy that I'm looking at, Frank, who I've got two players that are sort of out of the box. One that I think could do something, he's actually my pick this week, is Terrell Hatton. And Hatton is
Okay.
Hatton is English. He is on the Live Tour. He won, I think, in your backyard in Nashville. And then he finished third last week in Spain, two of the narrowest courses. Well, that is the narrowest course on planet Earth. That is Valderrama in Spain. I just think Hatton has enough money in his pocket, enough swagger, and enough don't give a shit, Frank, to pop up this week and do something for the English crowd. Of course, this is in Scotland, but they'll claim him as a UK, just like Bobby McIntyre did last week. What do you think about that pick?
Well, you stole my thunder.
Good. I'm glad I got it.
You stole my thunder because in pre-show we were talking about not you and I, but T.O. and I were talking before you came on about Terrell Hatton, and I said he's rolling. I really feel good about him. So now I'll have to pick somebody else. And I don't know who I would pick, but I can't pick the same guy you pick. It's got to be different because, our $10,000 bet every week we have on who's going to win is, it's up for grabs.
This week it's a 10,000 and a bottle of Oban. But we haven't mentioned John Rahm. John Rahm in his press conference yesterday said that he is close to seeing the kind of golf shots that he would like to see coming from him because everyone says he's in a slump. I don't think Rahm's in a slump. He just hasn't won on Live. But when a player says that he's not quite seen what he wants to see, that means he's not ready. So I'm not picking Rahm. Another player that I like who's in very good form, who I'm very impressed with, Some J.M., who I've been following very closely all season, Willie Wilcox, who caddies for him, who's got a great story in his own right. He's battled his way back from some demons, is on the bag of Some J.M. Yeah. I follow Willie on Twitter, and Some J very quietly, Frank, has finished 4th last week, 12th the week before that, and 3rd the week before that. He also has a very nice draw bias. Could a South Korean win the Open Championship this year, Frank?
I don't know. I haven't gone there with him. So you got my back against the wall on that one. Yeah. I didn't even really take a hard look at it, but you're right.
Ponder this, I'd like to talk for a second about Bryson.
Oh no.
This course can be absolutely overpowered on the front 9. Bryson may do that. He is a much more disciplined player than he was in the past. Now, that's number 1. Number 2, he's a very high ball hitter. Will that affect him at Troon? Good. Will Bryson tone it back and play a ball control front 9? Probably not. I think we'll see him lash at it on the front 9. He'll have a good advantage into the wind coming on the back 9 with his length. This will be a premier test for Bryson, just from the trajectory of his ball and the style of play that he plays. Will we see him lay back? I mean, his club, he hits the ball so far. Will he be hitting, I don't know, Frank, a 6-iron off the tee or a 7-iron to get himself in position? Probably not. It'll be all about discipline for Bryson. I'd love to see it. I think Scheffler will play the discipline game. Morikawa will play discipline. Once these players reach the turn, and we're going to get some rain this week, they're going to have some intermittent on and off rain. You could get a bad draw. The draw right now is pretty close. Windy most all day with a little rain on and off all day. Now, in 2016, when Mickelson played with Stenson and they were 11 strokes ahead of 3rd place, you won't remember this, but I'm going to tell it to you. They came out of the early morning on a Thursday, and 85% of the cut made it onto the weekend out of the morning wave. It was a very, it was a big bonus playing early in 2016. It's not going to be that way this week. I've looked at some of the early players. Hatton's off early. Scheffler's off late. Rory's off early. Morikawa's late. Bryson is early. Rahm's early. So, I think as these players get around the turn, Frank, they're going to have 2 or 3 under in their pocket if they want to get to the house under par.
Well, okay, let's back up for a minute with Bryson DeChambeau, and he plays that high fade, and he makes the turn, and that wind's howling left to right. Sure he can handle it, but can he? Can he be disciplined enough to throttle it back a little bit and not lose it right?
He's definitely disciplined enough. Like I said, he's a different player. He's having a great season in the majors. Scheffler, we know, can move that ball right to left. We know he'll be able to hold that wind. He'll get that job done. When I talked about Rory, my brain automatically goes to holes sort of 9, 10, 11. Nasty holes that come back into the wind. The 10th hole goes over a set of sand dunes, and it's a blind tee shot. Out of bounds is on the right. And then the 11th hole, there'll be much talk about this. You'll see a lot of it this week. It's called Railroad. There's a railway track that runs right down the right-hand side of the hole. It's about 500-yard par 4. Frank, you can hit the train twice easy. You can hit the train off the tee, and you can hit the train. It's only 2 paces off the green. You can see all the people in the train as you're putting out. So very difficult there.
Let me ask you this, and you've played there several times. When that train goes by and it's that close to that green, and those greens are speedy, has there been an issue ever with the whoosh, the wind that comes off that train, blowing any balls around on the green?
I think they keep the train away for the tournament week. I'm not sure. I think one year the whoosh can get you though. It's going. It's one of those. It's not one of those slow running trains. It's one of those electric fast ones. But once you get past 11 and 12's a sort of a breather, you'll play 13 to 18 dead into the wind off the left, which is, as you know, is quite nasty for a right-handed player.
Yeah, it's if you have a little fade, and I've resolved that issue in my game a long time ago, and just got a little too much hooky going on these days. But that little fade, when I get into the wind and a left to right wind in the old days of playing, my younger years, and I always wanted to just power it. Of course, right? Tall, skinny guy wants to hit it a long way. It killed me. It brutalized me. I mean, I lost a lot of money because of that high fade. I won't say the middle part of it, but it was just a high, pitiful fade, and that left to right wind killed me. So that's why I was asking that. We haven't talked about one other guy, and there's not a lot of info. We don't get a lot out of Live Golf, but Brooks Koepka hasn't been the best on tight golf courses. That's not been his forte. He kind of moves the ball all over the place. What are your thoughts?
Well, there's no way you can rule out Koepka. If you're going to have someone, in your team, if you're betting, and Koepka is a solid player for majors, he knows how to hang around. And I said, this is a kind of a ball control course. This course has to be attacked on the front 9. There's hardly any birdies laying out on the back, Frank. And there's a couple of bogeys waiting for you up 10, 11, 13, could be 17, 250-yard par 3. There's a number of very difficult holes coming in. And, Koepka's long. He's talented. Yeah. He's gifted. He's strong. All of those things. I've got him on my ticket right here as being someone that I'm putting on one of my teams, Frank. The whole name of the game here is small greens, ball control. Got to keep it away from the bunkers. Do they elect to overpower it and try to go over? Remember when Tiger won one of his Open Championships where he only hit one driver off the tee each day or something like that? Where was that at? Hoylake or somewhere? I don't think we're quite there, but if you get in these bunkers, they are built deliberately to penalize you. It's a sideways out. It's not it's not a good situation. So I watched Brian Harmon, the defending champion. He talked about the course last night on TV. He said that this course really penalizes a offline tee ball. He said, really penalize it. He said, we don't usually have that on the PGA Tour. You an offline a little bit, you block one over there at the John Deere Classic, or you block one at the, in Detroit or wherever. You're all right. You're just going to punch it out, whatever. But here, he said, it's bad. So it's a ball control course. Attack the front, hang on the back. Again, I said it at the top of the show. Rory McIlroy, he's miles behind in strokes gained on Scotty Scheffler. However,
yes,
I pull him back up because he grew up on links golf. He knows how to play the wind. There is a absolute knack of knowing how to play off this kind of low turf. This turf is very tight, fescue. I got the hang of this after hearing from Weiskopf and Nicholas that you go over to Scotland with a different set of irons with less bounce on them because, to get down into the ground where you need to be. So Rory knows all that. He's going to play, he draws the ball perfect for this course. He's not going to be in these pot bunkers. He's just not. He knows how to play golf in Scotland. So, as I said, it's his tournament to lose. I like Hatton. Hatton's playing with Rory McIlroy. I think Hatton will just follow along and play his golf. He's a very sort of, I want to call it a control player. He's in form, as you know. He's from England. He's an aggressive putter. I just think it's his time, Frank. They haven't had an English winner for a long time, since maybe Faldo. I may be wrong, but Darren Clark or whoever, but it's time.
Well, I want to back up to something you said about what Brian Harmon said, I should say, about, if you blow one right or whatever, you can recover on the PGA Tour. The place where you won twice is a golf course you can't do that on, and that's TPC Sawgrass. I mean, it is very penal if you blow it wide right or wide left on TPC Sawgrass.
There's no room there.
No, none. I mean, none.
As you see the crowd following the players at Troon, you see they're scrambling up and down big hills and sort of bumps and hollows, and you notice that the grass is up around their knees. So, it's vicious off the course here. So this course has to have some wind. Couple of the caddies that I spoke to said, Elk, if the wind doesn't blow, 20 under will get beaten. Stenson's record will fall. This course is going to get killed if we don't have any wind.
Well, you're going to have a little bit of wind and some rain. And I think Tiger made the comment, I think Taylor Zarza was interviewing him. I don't know if you caught that interview when Tiger made the comment that it's not like playing down in South Florida. It's a little chilly over there. Tiger had about 2 layers on and was looking for another. So, I don't look for Tiger to do a lot. We talked about that yesterday. Colin Montgomery, of course, had some comments about that, and Tiger did retort. They probably had to cut half of what he retorted, but he didn't like Colin's comment. He said, I don't think Colin's won this tournament, has he? So he said on him pretty hard. He busted his chops. I mean, he just didn't like what Colin had said about him and being, playing, how do I say it and be nice? Exhibition golf,
Tiger, Colin said that he didn't think Tiger should play anymore. He thinks he should retire. He said he didn't look like he enjoyed any shots he played at the US Open, and he's not going to enjoy any shots he's going to play here at Troon. Well, he doesn't know that. No. Colin doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't know what motivates Tiger Woods, but Tiger's response was, I'm exempt until I'm 60-year-old to play this tournament, and Colin is not. That's exactly
right.
Yeah, that was what his response was.
That was what the recorded and broadcast response was.
Yeah, well, you and I spoke yesterday. They love Tiger Woods over there, as well. Yes, they should. They love all the past champions over there, and they all get great reception. They're very very well versed on who is the champion. Justin Leonard will be playing this week. Todd Hamilton, Ernie Els. These guys will have. They won't touch the ground the first 2 days. They are very well received on every green, Frank. The applause for them. They remember when they won the tournament, and it's a great tradition that they have at the Open Championship. But down to the big business, Frank, in 2 days, and I'm looking forward to it. I'd like to see some weather. I listened to John Rahm talk about where he was not able to play the U.S. Open because he had that bad toe, and he was watching the TV, and he said, even I was pulling at Pinehurst to get it for it to be tough. I wanted to see the players struggle. Well, don't we want to see them struggle, Frank?
Oh, I think we're going to see them struggle. I want to back up to the 2009 Open Championship where Stuart Sink beat Tom Watson in the playoff. And just to bring that up, when we talk about the Open, that's one of the Opens I can't forget, because that's when Stewart, of course, accepted the trophy, and he basically was apologetic because he had beaten Tom Watson. And that would have been the greatest story in sport, I would think, if Watson had won that at his age at that point in time. Is there anybody in the former champions or anybody at an advanced age that you think could win, place, or show?
Well, I listened to Ernie Els' press conference yesterday, and Ernie said that, of course, he just came off a win at at Firestone, I think, in the Senior Players Championship, and he said that, look, he said, I've got some game going right now. I'm playing well. He goes, if I could make the cut, and I'd be happy with that, and see what I could do. But he's really not real. He said, I'm not really equipped like some of these youngsters are over here at the moment. There's such a gap now, Frank. When I play with my son, Sam, who's probably has some similar speed of these guys on the tour, Frank, the distance off the tee is getting quite ridiculous. It's Sam flies the ball 330 yards. I fly at 280 if I just come out of my shoes. That's 50. And that is huge difference. So, and by the way, at 280 or 275, 280, that's the longest I've ever been. I'm getting longer by the day with equipment here.
Isn't that great? That's a good thing. I've been doing it myself. I do have a couple of golf balls, though. I won't say where they came from, but they do say USGA/RNA on them. And they're not for sale, but they're being tested in all the manufacturers right now. They're shooting them out of the air cannons into club faces right now. It's a calibration ball, but that rollback situation, I'm against it. Okay. I don't know anybody that's an amateur that would ever want to hit the ball shorter, ever. Okay. It's a crazy thing, and I don't want to go off into that. That's way off in left field here. But I wanted to bring up the Stewart Sink thing because Tom Watson would have been, that would have been the greatest story in sports. Yeah, greatest story in sports if he had won it. What do you think at all of the former champions that are playing? I mean, outside of Ernie, outside of Stewart Sink, I don't know that Mickelson has anything left in the tank. I haven't seen that. Jordan Spieth certainly is a former champion. I don't think will fare well over there. Not Darren Clark or Patty Harrington. Molinari, no. Cam Smith's a former champion, 2022. I'm anxious to see what he does.
He can do something.
Yeah, I think so.
He's been hot and cold this year on live, and he drives the ball is the weakest part of his game, but his best part of his game is his irons and around the greens. He's a magician. He'll have to drive the ball exceptionally well. Cam will. He won at St. Andrews, where that big draw really works perfectly for him because, as we know, at St. Andrews, and I picked Cam Smith to win that week because he could draw the ball. As we know, St. Andrews is one big wide fairway for, playing for front nine and back nine. He kept drawing the ball into the middle of the course, and I picked Cam to win, and he won it for me that week. But that's what Cam has to do better if he's going to be there every week, Frank, will be drive it.
Yep. All right. You're picking
Well,
Hatton,
at
aren't
least
you?
for today, we're going with it's Rory's tournament to lose. And I'm saying that because he drives it so well. He's an expert player on links golf. He doesn't have to putt the lights out of it because it's going to be windy and rainy. And he has a natural bias with a draw coming in on the back nine. But Terrell Hatton is at, I think, at 28-1, or is it 48-1?
Yeah.
If I was over, it's 28-1 on Hatton. Frank, I'm all over 28-1. Get it today, because when this goes out, it won't be 28 tomorrow.
Yeah. So
some JM, I think, is at 55. I'm putting it down on some J as well.
Okay. You know who I'm going with is Xander Schauffele.
No.
I'm going with Schauffele because around the greens, his approach, he's got some good numbers. Putting, he's 10th right now. I've just got a feeling that Xander Schauffele is due, and I just think he might pull it off. So that's my pick. So I'm going to bet him. And
okay.
Can I borrow a couple $100,000 until my jumbo CD rolls over, Steve? Gambling debt,
That's right. When you say he's due, because he's been a long time since he's won his last major, like a month ago. So yeah, I get what you're saying.
He's due for this tournament. He's due.
Okay.
I think he really wants this badly.
All right, Frank, give me your dark horse. Got to be over 100-1 to win at Royal Trun.
Trun?
Royal Trun.
Trun. You got to roll it. Trun. There you go. Look, my dark horse is not that much of a dark horse. He is an Australian. He's just over 100-1, just 10 over 100-1, 110-1. I've got to go with Jason Day. That's a from the heart felt. I'm a big fan of Jason Day. I'm a fan of his game, of his persona, and some of the struggles he's had with health. I just think he's my dark horse. That's it, Jason Day.
Okay, I like it. I am going to introduce everybody today to a new player. Okay, Bob McIntyre. A lot of people didn't know who he was. They didn't know who Minwoo Lee was. Everybody knows who he is now. I have got a new guy that everyone's going to know about very soon. You're going to hear him here first. You're going to hear his name first. 250-1. Roll the drums. His mother is a famous tennis player, comes from an incredible athletic family in Australia, won Wimbledon doubles, mixed doubles. Elvis Smiley. Remember this name right here, Frank. Elvis Smiley. 250-1. Hello. What a great name.
Yeah, I said it earlier about Elvis. He is the hunka burning love from down under. Our Elvis from hunka burning love from Memphis. So there you go.
You've been told here. You've been told. You've been introduced, Frank. Elvis
Smiley. How can you forget that? I mean, Smiley, Kaufman, Elvis Presley. Okay. All right. So his mother was a great tennis player. I got to go with the pro. I mean, I believe you believe, but I think, I'll tell you what,
Elvis has been coming up through the golfing ranks in Australia. Michael Clayton, great course designer, has been mentoring Elvis Smiley ever since he was a junior. Caddies for him all the time. He won't be on the bag this week, but I don't know who's on the bag. But this kid is the real deal. We've all been watching him for years, and now he's just about to emerge. This will be his first major tournament that he will play in. Frank, he is on the conveyor belt straight to the tour. So you're just lucky that I told you his name today.
Well, I'll hedge my bet a little bit on Jason Day. I'll hedge some bets here. That's good money. Okay, I got you. I believe, brother. I believe.
All right. Well, again, we're going to do an emergency press conference if needed. If the weather changes, if it comes out of the east and the train's in the way, we have to have an emergency press. Whatever. If we have the right to do that, Frank.
If the train blows the balls off the green, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do it. We'll do it. And remember, we do have one other person playing in this tournament that has a previous winner of the Open Championship, and that's Arkansas's very own homeboy, John Daly. Does he make the cut?
And every single person will be happy to see John. Crowd favorite. Can he make the cut? I don't know. I mean, he's got that draw bias, though. He hits that big draw.
Well, he does. There's just a lot to watch and a lot to follow in this tournament. This is going to
get off to some good starts. You're going to see some players you've never heard of that are 5 under par, Frank, 6 under par, and you're going to look at the TV and go, what?
Who is that?
Because of this front 9 downwind, and just hold your horses. Is this going to take a while to get this thing evened out by about Saturday evening when the cream's going to rise to the top? But there's going to be some sprintaways early. You watch. Mark my words.
Okay, all right. I'm a believer. We'll see. And our little 10K side bet. It's I don't take checks.
I don't have checks.
What do you have? Krugerrands? What? No. That's South Africa, right?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, no. Okay. Anyway, it's been fun.
Okay.
It's always fun to sit down with you, and I just like to sit back and listen to your plethora of knowledge that you can throw out there. And as a former champion and multiple winner on the tour and 2-time Players Champion, you ought to know a little bit about this stuff. You still have the greatest swing in golf, my friend, and it's always a pleasure when I get to talk to my good friend Steve Elkington. Thanks, buddy. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Frank.